how to learn a language fast. You're not going to. If you're starting at square one, you're not going to learn it fast, but that's okay. No one ever learned a language fast. No one is going to learn a language fast unless you are exceptional. For the average person, we have to do what our brain allows us to do. Now, to start, we must understand that the brain does two things. It learns and it repeats. If both of those things don't wind up in immediate trauma or death, the brain will continue to do only those two things, learn and repeat. So, learning a language, knowing those two things about the brain, is honestly very easy. It's just very time intensive. The brain works best in terms of taking in information, letting it soak, and then being able to output that information right when you wake up and right before you go to bed. So if you listen to your target language, if you speak your target language, or you read your target language right before you go to bed and right before you go to sleep, that will optimize your learning experience. It will make it not a lot easier, probably not even noticeable, but just factually speaking, your brain is more malleable to information right before you go to bed and right when you wake up. So going off of that, you also need to read. You want to learn the language as naturally as you learned your first language. You watched the news and you read the little bars at the bottom. I remember when I was so young that I couldn't even read the bars at the bottom because I was just trying to make out the words. Like, oh, what does that mean? What is a coalition? What does subjugate? What do these things mean? You pick it up over time. It's okay. Once you see a word 3 times, your brain is going to be like, I've seen that word before. I got no fucking clue what it means, but I'll be damned if I haven't seen that word before. And then you can go on Google Translate. If you try and Google Translate every single word, you're just going to be you're going to be like a dog chasing his tail. All right, I've been there. I learned some words, but not very good. So listening and reading. If you, like in my case, I read The Alchemist not too long ago, so it's still pretty fresh. El Alchemista, Spanish version of The Alchemist. Great. The native language of that book is in Portuguese. That book is probably just objectively better than the English version that I read already because it's closer to the natural language of the author. So, win-win situation for me. When I read that book, I also read it aloud because Spanish has a lot of rules and just the vowels are pronounced different, and I know what they sound like. It's just a matter of always pronouncing it correctly that I need to work on. So, why not? So you got listening and you got speaking. Conversation. Conversation is very difficult if you don't have anyone to conversate with in real life, but if you have a phone, I would recommend downloading Tandem. Tandem has, obviously, I have 4 views per video. If they sponsored me in this video, they would be the worst language learning app on the face of the earth. I would be downloading the most cut rate. I'm gonna stop roasting myself. Tandem, you just put in your native language and the language that you want to learn, and they give you the opposite. I'm English, trying to learn Spanish. They give me a Spanish person trying to learn English. Easy. Only bad part about the app is that the people kind of use it as a dating service, and I don't know why you would want to flirt with someone who is probably on the other side of an ocean, but that's what people do. I talk to the people who flirt with me because I got no one else. There are a lot of people who don't flirt with me, but I don't discriminate. I just let them do their thing. The little ja, of course it's pronounced haha, but when they go ja for too long, I cut them out. If it gets to the point where they're not even conversing with me, they're just trying to do a little weird shit, stop talking to them. Easy. But most people, they kind of understand, they pick up on it. They're not bad people. They just kind of don't know what else to do on this app. So they have their little flirtatious fun. I don't know. So you got listening, whether intently or not so intently. If you can just passively listen to the language in the morning or at night or at any time during the day, Like if you can have a conversation with someone else and have the noise in the background and still kind of pick up on what the background noise is saying, you're doing very good. That is your brain picking up on it naturally, and that is very optimal. So you got listening, you got reading, you got speaking, and what is most important, but something that I haven't done nearly enough, is thinking in the language. That is the hardest thing to do. I'll be on a walk and I'm looking at the grass and I'm looking at the trees and I'm just translating it in Spanish. I'm looking at my outfit, I'm translating it in Spanish. That's all I can do. I can't really have complicated thought processes in Spanish yet, but I'm getting there. Things like learning vocab, I wouldn't learn more than 5 vocab words a day, or 10 if you're really exceptional at it, but there's no point because you're going to forget it. Learning the rules and the grammar, there are going to be a lot of YouTube videos on that, and that is for a reason, because it's easy to teach and you're not going to remember it, so you're going to keep going back to those videos. You're better off finding a live stream of like a news section in Spanish, whether that be from Spain or Argentina or Mexico, wherever you want to learn the Spanish from or really focus on that area. Go with that. Easy. So listen right when you wake up, right before you go to bed. Speak as much as you can. Think it as much as you can, as much as you reasonably can for your level. Read it. And don't focus on things that you would not have focused on as if you were pretending that this was your native language, because that is what the goal of any language learning is, in my opinion, is to reach fluency to the point where you can have a conversation and not even realize that you're speaking a foreign language, because at that point it's not foreign to you. It is just another language. It is another skill that you know. Now, how do you do all this? How do you get the drive to do all this? Well, they're for work, for pleasure, but for most people, they get desensitized and they become disenfranchised. Something that I would love to do, and that I just generally do like to do, is, when I speak to people, I like looking them in the eye. It's a matter of giving them the respect that they deserve as another human being. And I live around a lot of Spanish people. I live in America. It's the best way to go about it. I want to be able to speak with someone in their native language and give them the respect that I think that they deserve. Now, I know I've honestly never heard another person with that in mind. Most people, I want to travel, I live in the Bronx, or something like that. Go for it. Everyone's got their own reasons. But if you remember your reasons, and it's a good reason, and it's a reason to make you dedicate your free time to learning a new language, hey, new language. If you want to be cynical about it, that much more people that can give you money, and they won't be upset about it because you speak their language. So I see no downsides to it. You flirt with a lot more people. You could hop on these apps and flirt with people in 2 languages instead of only 1. Hey, why not? For me, I think that if I'm just going about my everyday life and, someone drops a book, or someone drops their backpack, and they're on the phone and I know that they speak Spanish, or just very obvious that they speak either Spanish or English or only Spanish, when they say thank you, de nada. I don't know. Probably doesn't seem like a lot to you, but that means the world to me, to give someone the respect of their own language. And I know that some people will go get offended and go, oh, I know English. And then I'll be like, I know you know English. All right, just I don't want to ramble, but it's just how I feel. It's how I've found the most natural way to learn the languages. And if you see any other YouTube videos, I don't care how many views they have, I don't care how much money or sponsorships they have, if they tell you that you can learn the language and conversational fluency from point zero in any less than 2 months, or they can tell you, because you can learn the phrases. Of course you can regurgitate phrases. We all passed tests as a kid, and then you forgot it the next week. This is to actually learn the language and be able to use it as a native language speaker, as if you were a native language speaker. It It takes time. As long as you remember your purpose and the fact that the brain does nothing but learn and repeat, you'll be good. So hopefully this video helped you. I have no money incentive to make this video. Not yet. So have a good day.